This is the Say It Can't Gamer, and you are live with the MMA. Oh!
Mixed martial a-holes. You like to be a mixed martial a-hole.
Boom, 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 boom.
No way.
From the Queen Studios of New York, UFC Brooklyn recap. Was it a bad stop? We're going to find out tonight. MMA news and Justin the Fort Sumter live with the MMA. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, another MMA Holes Hour. This is episode number 61. We are here. We are live on a Monday night. Jessie, how are you tonight?
I'm always wonderful, wonderful. How are you tonight, Mr.
Oh,
Moss?
my goodness.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful. A lot of things to talk about this weekend. Big fight card, ESPN Plus, their first experience, our first experience with it, and it was some card, top to bottom, fantastic card, and we will be talking about that. MMA news, there was a sort of controversial stoppage, not really, we're going to get into that. There's a poll that we took, go to the community section and you vote, was the stoppage controversial? Should it have been stopped? Should it have not been stopped? We're going to discuss that. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what's that music mean, Jessie?
We got a guest.
We got a guest, and it is Justin the Fort Sumter live with the MMA Holes. Justin, how are you today?
I'm doing real good, man.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thanks for having me. Sorry it's been so long. It's been a lot of stuff going on, and I'm glad to be back.
All right, Justin, welcome back to the show. I see. Are you doing some troubleshooting over here? What we got going on over there?
Well, I'm trying to plug in my Apple. See, I don't like the Apple computer. I unplugged it. I was trying to turn on the YouTube as well. So.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you know about this chat room over here.
Yeah.
Justin, this is, I don't know, man, how many appearances? This is like 7 or 8, maybe even 10.
A million?
I tell you what.
Million, you know.
This is your 1,000,000th appearance on the show. Definitely the most appearances from a fighter on the show. Our first fighter, we like to bring that up every single time. It's always good to have you back. Justin, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Besides being half frozen, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, well, wonderful. How is the weather over there? Has it been snowing? Is a lot of crap going on over there?
It's just cold as shit. It's like 8 degrees right now, and it should get down to like 6. That's just way too cold for me.
Yeah, I don't like this weather. It's like below 11 over here. I don't know what it is over here in New York.
Below 11,
yeah,
I couldn't do that.
It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. But I see a shirt. I see what you have on over there. It's the Contender Series shirt. Look at that. Yeah. Now, we didn't get a chance to speak to you. I mean, I want to go through this whole thing. 6-2 fighter. If you're not familiar with the Fort, I don't know what's going on. This guy is a beast. And he competed in the Contender Series the last fight. We didn't get to touch on that. It didn't go the way you wanted it to go, but I want to just back up before. I want to know what the experience was like with the Contender Series, the nerves, bringing your family out over there and friends and stuff like that. Walk us through that whole experience.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. You know what I mean? The UFC did a great job of, they definitely tailored to the fighters. If I needed anything, they were like there on the spot. You know what I mean? Oh, here you go. Oh, you need some water. Here you go. You need extra mouthpiece. Here you go. So they're very catering to the fighters. I would say Las Vegas is all right. Being there for like 6 days is kind of too much for me. But definitely like 3 days. That would be fun. But I was there for like 6 days, so it kind of dragged out a little bit, just because the atmosphere. People, they want you to do stuff in Vegas. They're like, oh, you do this. Like you walk down the street, someone's like, hey, come here, come here. So that was a kind of a nuisance, but I really enjoyed it. Just the atmosphere of being around. Going to the Performance Institute. Hanging around, talking to the other fighters that are in the UFC, and it was just an awesome experience.
Now, listen, this was a long time in the making here. You fought for Bellator before. You were on a nice little win streak. Now you get the call for the Contender Series. And Nick Newell, for those of you who don't know, Nick Newell is a legend. He fought before you, and unfortunately it didn't go his way over there. But Nick put on a war and stayed in Vegas and cornered you here. Now, as the fight approaches, right, you're walking to the cage. You see your family on the side. Dana White's there. I mean, it had to be incredibly. The nerves must have been through the roof. Like, what was?
Yeah, it was surreal. You know what I mean? Like, the moment kind of went faster than I expected it to go. You know what I mean? And like, when I think about it, it kind of feels like a dream. Because like you see people, the Ultimate Fighter, you see people fighting that cage all the time. You see, those doors, people walking through those doors and all that stuff, and you did it. You know what I mean? And it's like just kind of surreal. Like when I think about it, it's like almost dreamlike. Just because you kind of build that up in your head, and you see, like I've saw growing up with the sport, the first Ultimate Fighter, the Forrest Griffins, the Rashad Evans walking through that door, and it was pretty cool. Standing behind that door, the cameras on you, and they're waiting for you to come out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what. So we were doing a live reaction to it, and God, I would have loved to have been there for this. I mean, it was something else. The experience, just what we felt, just watching it on TV. I could only imagine what everyone was feeling in the crowd, and you, especially in the cage. Now the cage closes, everything's ready to go, and across the way you see Ian Heinisch. I don't even know how the hell to say his name. This guy, they put you up against a guy that is a freaking stud, right? An absolute stud, this guy. But you were kind of doing pretty damn good in the beginning of this fight. On the feet, you were doing very well. And I noticed when we spoke briefly via text, you said there was a mistake over there. And just walk us through that whole thing. I mean, on the feet, I felt if this fight stayed on the feet, you had a really good shot.
Explain. Yeah, it was just, the game plan was to kind of, keep it standing, and, like he'll probably want to wrestle a little bit and just keep the fight standing. But I kind of, like, he threw a flying knee, and I just I was like, I'll take him down. And then it's kind of, I went into a autopilot mode where, I kind of, and it kind of boils down to the training I was doing at that time. Because I end up I tore my rotator cuff before the fight, like maybe like 6 weeks before the fight. So I had to really change how my training was and what I was focusing on. So a lot of the stuff was kind of ground based, and so I saw that opportunity, and I just took it. I should have set back and kind of waited a little bit more instead of try to attack that submission. But I kind of put all my weight and my body into that submission. And, once I didn't have it, my body was already off, and he was able to capitalize and reverse me. So, then once I was on the ground, I kind of relaxed for a split second. And then, that split second, that's really all it took. And then, it was over just like that. So definitely just keeping the focus and keeping not relaxing, because I have a habit of being comfortable in positions and I really shouldn't. So that's definitely, I've been working on that as well.
Now I have to say this: it was tough for us to watch over here, but the brutal part of the whole situation is that replay. They keep on fucking playing it. They won't stop playing this damn thing. Every time Heinisch walks to the cage now, we see the poor Sumter, the poor Fort is in trouble over here. How does it feel when you're watching it back over here and the UFC keeps on replaying this thing? Do you chuckle at your friends and be like, well, that sucked? Or does it hurt as much?
I mean, it's just, one of those points you're like, man, I messed up, and, it's gonna be out there. And, hey, kudos to him. He got that highlight finish that everyone's looking for. So no qualms to him. But it's just something I gotta live up to and kind of put it behind me and not let it affect me.
We got a donation coming in. Let's see what we got said here.
I hope this guy wins the belt. He will be the first openly gay black male MMA fighter. This guy is the definition of dainty.
Now,
Hashtag first place Islanders.
thank you for that donation. Now, Justin, I'm pretty sure you have a young one on the way over here. I don't think you're gay. I don't know. Is he? What do you think, Jessie?
No, I would beg to differ from that donation.
Thank you for that donation. Not sure what's going on there. We have Justin the Fourth Sumter live with us, a 6-2 pro fighter. And now, as we were just speaking about the Contender Series, there's still big things over here. You have fought everywhere pretty much, and now we're back in Bellator. Bellator 216. We have Daly versus MVP. We've been waiting for this fight forever, and now you're on this card.
Forever, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you not fight on a card with Paul Daly before? Did you not? Or who was it on the last Bellator card?
MVP.
It was MVP. Oh, it was MVP. Okay. Wrong guy, right? Jessie, get him right next time. MVP. How was he? Did you get to interact with him before?
Yeah. He's a real cool dude. Like I was cutting weight that morning, and he just strolls into the sauna with me, and then we start jabbering about Marvel movies, and he's a big Marvel fan. Yeah. So we were just talking about what movie was out. I think it was the first Avengers came out. I think, what's that? I don't know, but yeah, we just started talking, and then started talking about how he doesn't really cut weight. He just he just likes to be on weight. So he's usually within like a pound or 2 pounds the morning of. So he just jumps in the sauna just to get that out because he likes to eat breakfast. So he's a real cool guy.
Now he has a big fight over here, and now you're on this card. This is good stuff. Nice rebound. Now I thought, you know what? They've done this before in the Contender Series. They've given guys who have lost quick and violently in some ways comebacks. The next season they have a comeback into the Contender Series. Did they make any mention of, hey, listen, don't worry, pick it back up and we can get you back into the Contender Series? Is that the goal or?
Yeah. I talked to my manager. Really, losing to Heinisch really didn't set me back. It didn't set me forward just because, I didn't win. But really didn't set me back. It kind of let me stagnate where I was. Yeah. So really only thing I have to do is just, do what I was doing before, get like 2 wins and, then I'll be 8-2. And then that's more favorable. So I could either get a short notice fight in the UFC or, get another call to the Contender Series.
6-2, very impressive over here if you think about it, as a pro fighter, and you've finished majority of your fights out of your victories. So it either goes any way. So you're going to see a finish. You're going to see a good fight over here when the fork gets into the cage. We got a donation coming in. Oh, it's Michael Venom Page. Look at this. Oh, my God.
Sumter was in the sauna with me. He got fully nude and was erect. It was awkward as hell.
Can you confirm this?
No.
Yeah. Justin the Fourth Sumter is fighting Bellator 216 February 16th, and it's right around the corner over here. Okay, so now let's fast forward. We're going to Bellator. What is the game plan with this over here? Getting into the Bellator cage again. You fought for the UFC. You fought for Bellator now. What can we expect in this fight?
Just be, be a better me. I'm very explosive, very really good timing, and I think this fight's going to showcase both of those. I got a really good matchup, real tough guy. Can't really take him lightly, but definitely a good matchup for me to show my skills.
Yeah. Now, this event are you going to be on the main card, the preliminaries? Where are we sitting on this one?
Preliminaries.
Okay. So now we're back at the prelims over here, but it's got to be good to get out there. Get out there back in and hometown too, right? Is this in Connecticut?
Yeah, it's in at Foxwoods Casino. So it's technically it's Indian territory, but it's in Connecticut. So that's how they can have fights in Connecticut.
Now, quick backstory to the chat, to the new people. We made a lot of new friends over here. Justin has been on since like the very beginning of the MMA holes. We've been on for a little over 2 years, and the Fort has been along for the ride. And I have to say this, there is an MMA holes curse, and I don't consider the last fight an MMA holes curse. Because you have won every fight. I mean, I think it was 6 fights in a row that you won, if I'm not mistaken. and then we get one loss. I mean, that's not bad. That's pretty damn good. So that means you're going to go on another 6-fight win streak, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and like most of it, I think is a like, I mean, it's just a learning, something I need to learn, and sometimes you win and you learn, sometimes you lose and you learn. And unfortunately, I mean, this is a point where I lost and learned, but I just take it like, I feel sorry for, my next 10 or the next 20 or, however long opponents, because, I'm just getting better and better. And, losing like that, kind of puts a fire under me like, hey, man, never happens again. I have to go in there with my head on right and just get the job done.
That's what a lot of people are saying. I see in the chat, a lot of people are saying, hey, it's a learning experience, these losses over here. And it might be a blessing in disguise, right? I mean, you were against a legit contender over here. I mean, this guy over here, Ian Heinisch, is the real deal. He looks like he is the real deal over here. So to be competing against someone like that, to learn from mistakes and then move on, this could be a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, like fighting him, I mean, I really wasn't worried. And it's like you said at the beginning of the fight, it was like, we really couldn't do anything until I put myself in a bad situation. That's how I feel about the whole situation. So, I put myself in that, and he was able to capitalize. So, and him going out there and in his first UFC fight, doing that with a seasoned veteran, kind of puts a feather in my cap. Hey, I knew what I could do. He did that, and it just speaks bounds.
There you go. We got Justin the Fort Sumter live with the MMA 6
super
and
chat.
2 fighter. We have a super chat.
Yo, what up, felony? How them hands?
Ninja Power wants to know, how are your hands?
My hands are...
I don't know what that means, but they look like they're intact.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I got a couple fractured fingers, but they're pretty good.
Oh, there you go. I mean, injuries are a thing of the sport, right? I mean, you have a job and you're doing this. You have a child on the way. I mean, there's a lot of things going on here. You're engaged. There's a million things going on. How do you balance all this?
It's tough, man. I mean, you're definitely gonna have a good schedule. Luckily, my fiance, she's an excellent scheduler. So she schedules a lot of stuff we do. So I don't really have to think about it that much. But it kind of gets stressful at times where I have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock to work out, and then go to work at 7. And then out of work, I gotta go to the gym from like 6 to 9, and then back over again. So sometimes it gets a little hectic, but I've been able to manage. And the way I think about it now is I'm putting the time and effort in now.
Sure.
So later on, I can reap the benefits. So I'm willing to kind of push a little bit harder right now to make that happen.
Yeah, check him out on Instagram over here. It's Fort Sumter MMA, and you can see how hard this man works. One more question about the Contender Series, and then we're going to move on. Jesse has questions from the chat. Ian Heinisch has been known to smuggle drugs. Did he have any drugs in his asshole when you were fighting him?
Not of my knowledge.
Oh.
There could have been something there, but I didn't check. I didn't ask.
Okay. I mean, that's the question everyone wants to know, right?
Very valid question.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe no one's asked you that yet. I mean, let's be honest. That's the real question right there. Jesse, what's going on in the chat room?
Simply Pump would like to know, how do you think Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway would go?
I think considerably different. I think Max would definitely have it. Just seeing how Conor's, not to say he's lacked in his skill since I guess his money fight with Mayweather, but something's not there. Like he had something before that fight and now it's not there. So I think definitely Holloway will have that one if they did a rematch.
Okay. Michael Anzalone would like to know, or first he wants to say you will win your next fight, and then he wants to know, how is Nick Newell doing, and he hopes you are both doing well.
Yeah, he's doing real good. Right now he's kind of focusing on me we just had one of my teammates win an amateur title, so he was putting a lot of energy in him. So now the focus is on me, and he's doing pretty good. His son's doing wonderful, Wyatt. He's pretty happy about that, and sharing pictures and stuff of him. So
Has he been giving you some daddy advices since now Nick has a kid over here? Has he been giving you advice, or has he been busting your chops? Get ready.
Yeah, a little bit. You know what I mean? Because what we're doing, we don't know the gender of the baby yet, so we're gonna wait till it's born to figure it out. So, you know what I mean? I'm kind of crossing my fingers that it's a boy, so they can go play with each other in the cage while we were training. So he's talking about how much he poops and all that stuff.
Real quick before Jesse gets back to the chat, what is next for Nick? Has he spoken? Has he been saying anything?
Nothing yet. I know he's still trying to get something signed, but right now he's just taking it easy. He has his son. The gym's doing pretty good. We're about to move to a new location, so he's got a little focus outside of the cage right now. But I think once that settles down, he can kind of focus a little bit more and see what he wants to do.
One more question for me, and then we'll go back to the chat. Ali Abdelaziz is Nick's manager. Is he a terrorist?
I don't think so.
Okay. We gotta ask these things. All right.
You asked the real question.
That's right.
You can't stop
Hold on a
the
second.
Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Got a donation coming in.
Virginia was loyal to the Union until that murderer Abe Lincoln fired on Fort Sumter. Then called for an army of 75,000 soldiers. Virginia soon after voted for secession.
Okay.
Lincoln was a tyrant murderer.
All right.
God bless Robert E. Lee.
That's General Stonewall Jackson donating. Look at that, Jesse.
Yeah.
What do you think? All right, back to the questions. We're not even going to address that. What do you got here, Jess?
Steven Stern would like to know who was the coolest fighter you've met from the UFC. Answer carefully.
Is it Glover? I see a lot of pictures of Glover.
Glover's pretty cool. I'll say I think Carl Robinson is the coolest just because we hung out the most.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you meet Francis Ngannou at one point?
Yeah, I met Francis.
But he's not.
He's cool. You know what I mean? He's a little quiet, but he's a real cool guy. Let me see. I met Joanne Calderell when I was in Vegas as well. She has a really, really squeaky voice. Like on TV, it sounds real squeaky, but in person, it sounds like 10 times squeakier. And I'm like, what? But she was real cool. She was real nice.
Who's the biggest asshole? Is Uriah Faber? Is he an asshole? Or be honest.
No, he wasn't really an asshole. He was, he was cool. Like, it was kind of funny because he didn't know who I was until I mentioned Nick because his guy was fighting Nick. So he was kind of cool until I told him that, and then he was like kind of hushed up and then kind of scurried out the side. But he was a cool guy,
Yeah, a lot of people at the UFC Institute running into over there must have been some experience. Just what else we have from the chat?
All right. Pulse Reloaded would like you to be honest. Were you afraid of Ian Heinisch?
No, I didn't have any apprehension about it. Because he's basically trying to do the same thing I'm doing. So I just have respect for him. That's really the only emotion I had towards him.
Yeah, you didn't look too nervous going in anyways. Both of you guys seem to have very similar demeanors, so I wouldn't assume so either.
I want to get your thoughts on I don't know if did you get a chance to see the fights this weekend that passed?
Yeah.
The stoppage on the main event. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Well, there we go. That's the question.
Let her ask the questions.
All right, Jessica.
Well, it's not my question. It's Wyatt Neff's question.
Okay,
but
Wyatt Neff.
He wants to know what you think of TJ versus Henry stoppage.
So I think there's two lines. So one of the line is for a championship fight that you have to let the fight kind of go on because it's a championship fight. So anything can happen. Like he can miss that punch, he goes in for a double leg and he holds him down and gets his recovery. So that you have that opportunity. But seeing the damage that he incurred because he was dropped twice, and then he was kind of doing the whole zombie grab type thing, and that could be dangerous. And it's the ref's job to save the fighter from the fighter. Fighters are going to fight no matter what. Even if they're just only oriented, they can't see out any of their eyes, they're still going to fight. So, it's the referee's job to kind of save the fighter. And I think it was just because, being dropped once with I think it was a straight, and then getting caught with a hook, and then like if he got hit with a hook and he bounced back on his butt, you know what I mean? He has his chance to recover. He can either come forward or he can roll back out of it. Mm-hmm. But once he was dropped and he fell forward. So that's kind of your motor skills kind of all go out. So your ability to recover is lessened because you're going forward face down. Okay. So I don't think it was a bad stoppage. I think I think Dillashaw came in there a little bit cocky and didn't have the respect for the power of Cejudo. And I think his chin, had a little bit more confidence in his chin than he should have because he went down in weight. And that's like...
You can't stop the Siberian Express!
Coming in.
Motherfuckers!
What are your thoughts on that white coon, Mike Perry?
Oh, my God. All right, Justin, what do you think about Mike Perry?
Mike Perry, he's a character. You know what I mean? He created this character, and I don't have any problems with him. So he's just a guy that he found his niche and he's sticking with it.
There you go. All right, Jess. Anything else from the chat?
Those are all the relevant questions. Oh, Andrew Medina wants to know regular M&Ms or peanut M&Ms.
Peanut.
Peanut.
Yeah.
What? Protein. You got to get protein, right?
Yeah, you don't like peanuts?
Well, I love peanut M&Ms, but not as much as regular M&Ms.
Well, you gotta. Well, I like peanut M&Ms over regular M&Ms, and regular M&Ms over those caramel M&Ms.
What about the peanut butter M&Ms?
Peanut butter M&Ms, they're kind of with the caramel. You know what I mean? I'd rather not eat them, but if they're there, I'll eat them.
We can't be friends anymore, Justin.
Justin the Fort Sumter, 6-2 pro fighter, fighting in February, Bellator 216. Do we have any predictions for this fight?
My hand raised.
There you go. Finish? Are we going to see a finish?
Yes, you will see a finish.
There we go. All right. Right before that fight happens, we got to get you back on. Good luck, and we're big fans. We like to see you prevail, win or lose. We are Team Fort over here as the MMA Holes. And just shout outs to the sponsors. This is your time to shine.
All right. First off, I want to say thank you to the MMA Holes for having me, being my first guest, growing with me, as well as you guys are doing awesome as well. Want to shout out to my manager, Top Game Management, Nick Newell, Fighting Arts Academy, MMA Nutrition. You guys should talk to him. Mina's a cool guy. Redwood Coast CBD Water, Wash and Wag, Pet Grooming. What else? Foundation, Foundation RX for supplements and everything. And am I forgetting somebody? No, I don't think I think I got everybody. So I think I got everybody. So
there you go.
If I didn't, I'll just put it in the message to everybody.
Fair enough.
Post it.
Drop it in the chat, and we'll give them a pop-up shout. Right there. There we go. Oh my goodness! Let's see the belly. Let's see this thing.
Super chat.
Hold on a second. We got a super chat coming in.
Peanut M&Ms FTW.
All right. So Jeremy Beatty says peanut M&Ms. There's Little Fort. Look at this. Congratulations. Look at it. Look at you. Wow. Oh my goodness. All right. Who's changing the diapers? Boy or girl? What's the prediction?
Boy.
Girl.
Oh boy. Well, you're gonna have to bring Little Fort on the show. We're gonna put earmuffs on him so he doesn't hear the donations. Yeah. Congratulations, guys, and good luck in the future. We can't wait to see you back here on the show, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Thanks.
There we go. Justin Sumter and Mrs. Sumter, soon to be Mrs. Sumter, live in the MMA Holes. Jessie, look at that. Little Fort